Hi, my name is Sarah from the University of Oregon Speech, Language, and Hearing Clinic, and I'm here today with Andi to talk about voice and singing. So, Andi, could you tell me a little bit more about your experience with voice training and what that has been like for you?
Very challenging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I started voice training just on my own with YouTube videos. I found some really great resources, and I had always been kind of working on my voice for singing before. So moving into working on something for like feminizing my voice was not an exceptionally like challenging task outside of the actual practice of doing it. Trying to do it from an online only perspective was extremely challenging for me because you don't get any feedback other than yourself. So it's been a matter of practice, and then being brave enough to practice in front of other people.
Yeah, that's hard. It's that extra stress of like being with a real person in real life and trying your voice out or singing. There's a lot more tension in the body that makes it harder to maneuver.
Yes.
Those components.
Yes. I feel like there's a whole element of trying to project your self-image towards another person.
Yeah. That makes sense. It's hard putting yourself out there like that and hoping people perceive you the way that you wish to be perceived.
Right.
So we talked a little bit about singing before this, and you said you had some experience with going to karaoke and enjoying singing before you started voice training. What was your experience like singing pre-voice training, and I don't know, your attitudes and I don't know, the physical feeling of singing before that?
It's funny because I realize now in hindsight how much I was not doing it correctly.
Yeah, that's so real. Yeah, this voice training makes you think about how to use your voice efficiently.
Yes, and how to not damage your vocal cords and all of that stuff. And it's a very interesting aspect of that. But I began doing karaoke regularly. I went from doing some voice training stuff online, was starting to finally feel okay about my voice. And then I went to try and sing, and I realized that, like, while the vocal lesson stuff do match up, like, 1-to-1, you can't just go in and do it. That's not how it works.
It's hard.
It's something that I've kind of started feeling more comfortable with.
Yeah. It's like karaoke was a space where you felt comfortable expressing yourself and putting yourself out there.
100%. Absolutely. That is the very succinct and good way of putting that. Man, I could have just said it in 6 words, it turns out. Never mind.
I love the extra context that you give. I think that's really helpful for people to hear. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's like the safety of, not safety, the comfort, I guess, and like bravery and
90% of the people that go to karaoke don't care if you sing well for the most part, as long as you're not really bad. There is that element of safety because a lot of people recognize it takes a lot to get in front of somebody and sing a song.
I'm wondering then what your experience, so you said returning to karaoke, it was a completely different picture after voice training, and I don't know, trying to figure out how to coordinate those muscles after learning how to use them for speech is one thing, but trying to use them for singing is a whole other ballpark. What helped you feel more comfortable, like singing after voice training or approaching that? Or are you still like kind of in that?
Well, I mean, on the one hand, I am still really self-conscious about it. Going into it, knowing how I had been doing it before had been incorrect in terms of forcing it more, not really like working the muscles properly beforehand to like loosen up and everything. Following voice training and learning more about proper usage of resonance and all of that kind of stuff, I could speak better at that point. But now I was throwing in this extra element of trying to carry a key and trying to, like, be entertaining. I mean, in a sense.
Thinking of that technique, too, while you're singing as well. It's another
exactly. Yes. Like, when you are thinking about it, it's terrible. I felt more confident in it because I felt more confident in my voice. And I felt more confident in like the actual elements of my voice and what goes into creating it and putting those into use in a context of singing. I was able to use karaoke to make myself feel more confident enough to put it into practice, whether it's perfect or not.
It's brave to put yourself out there like that, and
Well, and people judge you by your voice all the time.
Yeah.
I mean...
Mm-hmm. People make judgments on, like, how you're feeling based on your voice.
Yes.
They hear, like, a shake or, you know, they... One final question I have. This kind of maybe dovetails with what you were just saying, but if you could give your younger self advice, what would you tell her?
It would really be just to practice that confidence, to have the confidence to be yourself and to not constantly worry about what other people might think. The world has always been one in which people are judging other folks, but it's also one in which nobody ever remembers that a day later, other than the person to whom it happened. The thing that took me from being really introverted and shy and incapable of putting myself out there to being able to say, well, who cares if somebody thinks that I'm being a total goofball when I'm doing this dumb thing?
As long as
I'm having fun doing this dumb thing. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Okay, wait, one last final fun question. What's your favorite song to sing at karaoke? Or, like, what song makes you feel the best singing at karaoke?
One of my favorite songs to sing at karaoke, one of the ones that I've done most frequently in the last couple of years, has been the Gourds cover of Gin and Juice.
Fun.
It's my dog's favorite song in the world. Even hearing it, she popped her head up a little bit. And it's just a fun song to do. Everybody loves a little Snoop Dogg turn to bluegrass.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's better than that?
Right?
Well, I think that's all the questions that I have for today. So thank you for interviewing with me.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Okay, yay! We did it!